What up? You got Cinco Smith at wealthyrapper.com. And at wealthyrapper.com, I'm all about you thinking wealthier as it relates to being an artist. Too many times we get focused on the art, the music itself, and doing the music, but not thinking about the wealth that can come from it. A lot of rappers want to look rich, look like money, but aren't on the mission to become wealthy. And I want to change that by just changing the dynamics of our conversation, our thought process, the whole 9 yards. So before I get to the video, I want you to just know that you can get a free video, pretty much a video presentation where I talked about how you can create multiple streams as an artist, even if you never get a record deal. And all you have to do is visit wealthyrapper.com, get access to all of that. CincoSmith.com is where you can just connect to me on social media platforms, and catch me when I'm there. But wealthyrapper.com will give you a ton of jewels, and hopefully you get some value from it. Now, what is this video all about? I want to talk about a concept or perspective of what an album is worth. And I'm going to talk about it from a couple of different angles. It was inspired by an article that I read on the New York Times. And basically they were saying, what is the value of an album? They said, is it worth $3.49? Is it worth $77? Or is it worth $0? And the answer in a nutshell is it depends on the artist. Because if it's a no-name artist and you try to price it at any amount, then nobody cares. But if it's an artist that has attracted a tribe and has a solid group of fans, you could put a price tag on it that many people would be willing to pay. So they gave an example of somebody who priced their album at $77, and at $77, people were willing to buy it because it was a piece of art and it was a vinyl CD. And even though they can get it digitally, it was something about having a piece of that particular art in a physical form that they were willing to pay. Nipsey Hussle did it years ago when he did the campaign centered around Proud to Pay. Basically, he created an album. It was a $100 mixtape, which nobody had ever done. He ended up selling out of those $100 mixtapes, and people were proud to pay. And because people bought into it, they also got access to, him, his contact information, his a performance. He did a show, and they were able to get access to that. So it came with it. He delivered value to go along with it, but he put a price on his product, and if people were proud to pay, then they paid that amount. So what does that mean? That means that if you develop a name for yourself, then you can charge whatever you deem necessary. But the key is thinking about it from a different angle, not just looking at it like, okay, why would a person want to pay for an album, a physical CD, when CDs are going out of the window? Figure out how you can wrap your product up and make it worth something to your end buyer, make it worth something to your audience if you built it up, because now you can put any price tag on it. They said that Tang did a one album release. Basically, they just had one physical copy, and they did an auction, and it was inspired by what Nipsey Hussle did. And in this auction, and of course, Tang had a ton of fans, for years they've been had a ton of fans, but they did an auction, and they were able to auction this one CD for $2 million. One CD for $2 million, because now it's rare. It's a rarity. And if you think of music in a form of art, and if you look at art, even physical art, paintings, things of that nature, a lot of the reason why it's able to sell at such a high price is because it's rare, because it's a one-in-one. And anytime it's something that's a one-in-one, that means that it goes for a higher amount because it can't be duplicated. It can't be replicated. It's one person who has it in the whole world, and some people are willing to pay for that. And you as an artist, you as an individual, you got to understand that you are a one-in-one. So think of some unique ways that you can go about packaging your product or whatever it is that you have in a way that makes people want to pay more for it. You might have some other levels of skills and knowledge or things that you do that you can share with the world in addition to your music that makes them not only want to buy your music in a physical form, but get whatever comes along with it. And now you're able to price your CD for $1,000. Nipsey did a second round just to make sure that first round wasn't a fluke. Did it to where he had 100 CDs and he sold them for $1,000. and those sold out as well. So if you look at those numbers, you sell out of 1,000 CDs or 100 CDs at $1,000. That's $100,000. So what can you do outside of building your brand up to make your product worth more? And that's thinking like a wealthy rapper, because you're not limited to what everybody else is doing. A lot of times we look at what everybody else is doing and we try to do what the majority of people are doing. That's the problem now. We live in a world now, especially in 2020. It's a lot of people who are just following the bandwagon and doing what everybody else is doing, and not a lot of people are thinking for themselves. But it is a great awakening happening. So a lot of people are starting to wake up to thinking for themselves. But if you're already ahead of the pack and you're thinking for yourself, thinking outside of the box and doing what nobody else may be doing, then you will lead the pack and people will start doing what it is that you're doing. So this is just something to just kind of make you think about your art form in a different way that can make you say, you know what? Yeah, the music is something I'm going to deliver, but it's something about what I put in this music that I can partner up with this. And now, instead of me just delivering it digitally, I'm also going to offer this. I'm also going to expose them to this. I'm also going to connect this. And I've seen quite a few different artists. Many people who are rappers are genius in the sense that they are studious, in the sense that they have a lot of knowledge and consciousness. And I ain't saying that just for the cliche conscious community, but they have a lot of awareness on certain things, and they're astute in certain areas that they're packaging their knowledge in a way and delivering it. And then, oh yeah, by the way, I'm also an artist, and they're delivering their music that way. That may be you. You may have a level of knowledge, and you're delivering your music and your knowledge all in a bundle. That's my approach. I have financial literacy as a background. I own a credit restoration company, so I help people restore their credit, get things deleted and removed, and enhance their credit and things of that nature. Work from home, minimize their taxes, all of those things. But I also love music. I also love rap. So by me having those two passions, my merger is wealthyrapper.com, where I want to get rappers to think different, invest different, invest in themselves differently, so they can become a wealthy rapper whether or not they get a record deal. And now you take advantage and you have ownership in not only your own music, but just the music industry as a whole. And you're viewed as a different type of rapper. They can't just box you in, because we are not to be boxed in. So just wanted to kind of do a video to just kind of let you know some insight of what I got from the video, how it can open your mind and possibly apply to you, get you thinking outside of the box on your new release or whatever it is that you want to do. And if you have any ideas of what you want me to talk about on this channel, feel free to reach out, and I don't mind doing so. As I stated, I have a ton of videos coming down the pipeline. I own a credit restoration company, so I will have some videos pertaining to credit and some things that could position you to get funding or, get credit cards if that's something you're interested in, or increase your cash flow so you can bring in cash without credit cards and funding and things of that nature. So stay tuned. Let me know what you think. What do you think a CD is worth? Is it worth nothing these days? Is it worth a few bucks? Or is it worth whatever price you put on it? If you haven't already, visit wealthyrapper.com and get that free case study video where I go over how you can create multiple streams of income as an artist, even if you never get a record deal. Wealthyrapper.com. That's all I got for now. Cinco Smith, signing out.